Drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll lock 'em. Up 'em. If he reach, then I'll pop 'em. Street sweeper, I'll wash 'em. Homicide, come and chalk 'em. Drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll lock 'em. Up 'em.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros are comments made by Chris Eubank Jr. Well, first, he's already stated that his dad, Chris Eubank Sr., hasn't talked to him since he announced that he's fighting Conor Benn. But there's also an announcement he made during the interview where he said that he wants his dad to train him for the fight with Conor Benn. So let's take a listen and then we'll discuss this in greater detail. All right, so this video appears courtesy of Talk Sport.
Question I want to ask you, Roy Jones Jr. has been in your corner now for your last few fights. We've seen a marked improvement in your boxing, especially with your jab under the eye of Roy Jones. Is he going to be in your corner for this one?
For this fight, I want my old man in the corner for obvious reasons. It's this fight is happening because of what he did with Nigel all them years ago. So it only makes sense for me to have him in the corner. He knows the Benns better than anybody. But I don't know if he wants to be in the corner. As crazy as that sounds, all the fights, especially early in my career, he's in the corner, the press conferences, talking trash, and doing poetry and getting involved. The biggest fight of my career, I don't know what his mindset is. I haven't spoken to him about it. He hasn't made it clear what he wants to do.
So this is exclusive. Your old man don't even know that you're going to ask him to be in that corner.
I told him that I want him there, but he hasn't given me an answer.
Right.
He hasn't said yes. He hasn't said no. I'm going to call him as soon as I've done with this and be like, listen, all right, the press conference is done now. The world knows you got to make a decision. Hopefully he says yes.
So you heard it there from Chris Eubank Jr. that he wants his dad in his corner to be his trainer. His dad isn't even he's like, yo. He said his dad hasn't talked to him since he announced that he was fighting Conor Benn, and now he's saying he wants his dad in his corner, but he hasn't gotten an answer from his dad. I'm turning over to you, Trill Dollar Bill. What's your reaction to all that?
Man, I don't like seeing things like that. I don't like seeing things like that. You know how I rock. You know what I mean? Seeing your boys calling out for you. You know, I hate when it comes to have to come to like social media and it has to be public and stuff like that. You know, get with your son. Regardless of how you feel about the business choices that he made, it's still your baby. And you're gonna feel regret. You know? Because one thing that we all know is that time it's not promised, and it's something that you can't get back. You know, so all I'm gonna say is, man, reach out to your baby, man. What is wrong with you? That's all I gotta say about the matter. I don't care about what do you feel about what he's doing. If your son is hollering at you, then get back to your son. Who cares about if you don't agree with business decision he made? Because you're gonna regret it. Something bad happened to your baby. That's all I'm saying. You know, I gotta keep it trill. And that's 3 times real.
All right, Spirit G.
I humbly disagree with Trill on this one. Senior, bro, he called me. I'm like, bro, don't even associate my name to this assignment. Like, respect yourself. I don't need to be part of this. You know what I mean? Like, bruh, be your own man. Golly. Like, you that broke that you gotta bring up what I did in the past just to propel your career to make some money. Like, God, I'll be just upset with my son. I'll be like, bro, don't you dare. Don't you dare. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what are you doing? Like, come on, son. This is crazy. Yo, Trey, this is crazy. I'm sorry. Like, bruh, what if you lose and you the bigger guy? You making all of us look like idiots. my legacy is now connected because to me, I believe this: the sins of the father is the sins of the father. It has nothing to do with the son. But if I co-sign you and I'm in your corner for this foolishness, then I'm co-signing this. And what happens if you get beat up by the smaller dude? Now it's like
no matter what, that's his blood. That's flesh and blood. We riding out regardless.
I'd rather see my son get beat up. I'm being honest. This ain't manhood, bro. I don't know what this is. You know what I mean? This is crazy. I'm like, my son ain't gonna do this fight. Knowing that I'm not co-signing it. And you could tell he is, you can see how Chris Eubank Jr. was talking. His father does not approve of this fight. And the fact that he asked him already and his father's silent about it tells me his father's like, G. His father's like, this little, he got the nerve, bro. He got the nerve. You know what I'm saying? And his father's just like, bro, I can't believe you just called me with this foolishness. No, I don't want no parts of this. Good luck with your fight. He might not even say good luck. He might be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, matter of fact, I better not see you at Sunday dinner because I'm definitely going to lose my mind if I see you at the dinner table. You know what I'm saying? Like, Chris is wilding, son. This is just crazy. Like, oh, my God, man. Yo, listen, as a father, I got boys. If my boys decide to do something foolish and they know I don't approve, and they had a nerve to be like, yo, daddy, can you be in my corner? Yeah, oh my goodness. I might be like, yo, I disown you. You know what I'm saying? Like, why?
You're a fool.
I'm gonna have to. Like,
It's not something crazy. It's a fight.
Yo, I'm not even trying.
He's holding this shit up to something else.
This is great. Yo, Trill, he look.
G with this soda.
Then I listen to his words. He's just like, I talked to my father about it. He ain't respond. I asked him. He not saying yes. He not saying no. Him not responding is a hell no. If you don't know, Chris, like, come on, son. The average guy would be like, oh, I know what time it is. Like, think what? Look at all these fathers in the boxing game that train their kids, right? The way that they talk about their kids, the way they got their back. Your father's a legend. And he don't, you know what? Yo, Chris, you know how your father's treating you is how Chavez Sr. treats his son. He don't want no parts. He don't want no, he's ashamed, bro.
But he still come to his face and shake his head.
He comes to the fight to shake his head.
He still comes to his fight and supports his son. Even though he's like, shake his head,
right.
He still comes.
You right. You see what I'm saying? This is even worse than because your father doesn't even want no parts of the assignment. He's just like, I don't know why you invited me to what? Huh? To do what? Yeah, I'm Gucci. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be ashamed. I don't understand this, yo. Like, yo, I feel so bad for the Eubank family, bro. Now I'm sounding like Ned because I didn't think the family stuff mattered. Now it matters because you're trying to throw your father in here. You begging your father on social media, Daddy, please be in my corner. Like your father care about you losing. You know what I'm saying? Like if he cared about your career, he would have been helped you out. But he don't care because you're like, bro, you live in my shadow. You really my son. Like, this is
you my son.
So this is just. I feel so bad for Chris. This is
not only are you my son, you my son in the boxing game.
Son, you on my shadow. That's God, man. Yo, Chris, man, I'm sorry, bro. Honestly, I feel like we shouldn't even do this segment, yo. I feel like I'm bullying Chris. I'm bullying him, but it's just oh my goodness, man. I just feel like Senior. I feel so bad for Senior because it's like he's like, yo, why would you even associate me to this? Why would you put my family name, our last name, onto this? Like, come on, son. You're way bigger than him. Just call it what it is. You want a free check, so you don't need me. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless what you really think Conor Benn gonna beat you? You really think I should be in your corner? I'm good, yo.
All right, G has spoken. Ned the TVE.
All right, yo, G went through a lot, yo. G you got me rolling over here, man. I can't take it, yo. It's so funny, man. What you said.
I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm dead serious. I'm actually dead serious.
Oh my goodness. Last thing I said, this is about family. It's about legacy. Like it's gonna be lineage, like grandchildren, the Eubanks versus Ben. First off, it riles me up that you got the last name as the first name and the first name as the last name, Conor Benn. It throws me off, but
what?
You got what I said. Y'all got what I said. Yo, this is gonna be something that goes on forever. The Eubank versus Ben family. We're gonna see it. We're gonna have another episode of this, probably like 5-10 years from now, talking about these people. But this is about legacy. This is about lineage. This is about wins and losses, and it's not gonna end till we have the superior Eubanks or we have the superior Ben. Damn, I just broke my elbow. That hurt. But we got the superior Ben.
This is
gonna go on for a while. We're gonna take this into a women's boxing where we're talking about Layla Benz versus Clarissa Eubanks. You feel me? It's gonna go on. It's gonna go on. We're gonna do this for a while. It's generational. But I'm not mad at it. But Senior, Chris Eubanks Senior, you gotta be in the conversation. You gotta be here, yo. You and Conor Benn Senior started this beef, and you want to carry the torch. So earlier I talked about passing the torch, and they're carrying the torch, and you can't just neglect them because you like I'm not part of this. It's not a money grab because I don't know not many people who know about this fight happening, but this is something that can become something big. Like this, it's like the Patriots Jets. If I could compare it to something, this Patriots Jets, Lakers Celtics, it could grow into something like that big. It could grow into like a rivalry that's that big, where it's nothing that's like cold-hearted or bad blood, where it's like I see them in the street, I gotta fight them. It's just like it's in the ring, and we're gonna respect our professionalism in the ring. Like, yo, we keep it here, strictly here, but next year we're gonna do this again because this is where it has to go down because this is our legacy, this is our lineage on the line. So that's how I see it. I don't see it more than that, but it's strictly boxing and nothing more. But I love it. It's good for the sport. You need that type of for instance, like WWE where Undertaker won WrestleMania like 20 years in a row. And then when he lost, they lost their minds. People lost their minds. But, you need something that gravitates people to the sport. Be like, oh, I love this. I love this back and forth between this family. And I'm down for it. I respect it.
All right, so like it's interesting because I want to show you guys a video and then I'll dive into what I want to say. And this video is related because it involves Chris Eubank Sr. speaking to Conor Benn about his relationship with his dad. So take a listen.
I want to say something to Nigel, Mr. Ben, about Conor. See, Conor may actually turn out to be a good fighter one day. We don't know it yet. But it's not the boxing of which I'm concerned with. I'm concerned with the ordinary life. The people. Who are your friends? Who are you moving about with? His father should be there to watch that. Now, this took him off track and maybe made him the fighter that he became. Maybe he could have been a better fighter if he wasn't involved with those mates who introduced him to that ordinary life. Your father.
Wait, who are you to talk about my life? Who are you to talk about my life? Who are you to talk about my personal life in front of all these cameras? Who are you? I find that extremely disrespectful.
No, it's not.
That is very disrespectful. It's none of your business. You don't talk about my dad, talk about him. Don't talk about me and come with all that. Tell him about my life.
I would like
to talk about my life in front of these cameras. That's my personal life.
I don't know about your life.
You want to talk about my boxing? Fair enough. Don't talk about my personal life.
Okay.
I talk about my boxing. That's it.
Okay.
And my personal life.
Okay. His boxing life will be better protected if his father is involved with him. Because his father will protect him against the things which happen to him. So when the father is close, the fighter is better protected. This is what I was saying. It is in support of you. It's not against you. And I'm not trying to embarrass you. I want the best for you. You may have what it takes. You may have that spirit, that energy that your father had. What I'm worried about is the outside, the parties, the girls, the media, the guys who throw you off track. That's why Junior is protected, because I'm not moving away from him. I'm always there watching everybody around him. And I'd like the same for you. It's in support of you that I say what I say. No disrespect, man.
Conor Benn's like, yeah, this old head's still talking, yo.
The irony of that whole exchange was that Chris Eubank Sr. was saying how important it was to have your dad around, and how he felt like if he had his dad around, then his boxing career would be better protected. And he's saying how he's always dealt with his son to protect him from the pitfalls and the things that could have possibly made him slip up. And, you know, because they know the game based on their experience. So I find it, you know, ironic that now that his son is fighting Conor Benn, the guy he was saying all those things about, he's actually the one missing. And Nigel Benn was at Conor's most recent fight, and he was celebrating, and he was in Conor's corner. Conor got upset. Go ahead, Ned.
This reminds me of Creed 2, where you got Apollo Creed's son, where his father's not there because he eventually passed because you know what happened. And you got Ivan Drago's son, who's there, and his father's in his corner talking out all that mess. And I just feel like this might be a repeat of that movie. But I'm just saying, you put a bear in a corner, the bear might win. You can't trap a wildish animal in a corner. But I feel this is just giving me those type of that type of vibe. Like this is what's kind of going down right now. It's like Chris Eubank, his daddy not supporting him 100%. He left him in the wilderness, and now you got a wild animal. So I'm just thinking after that. I'm chucking my hands up, and I'm done. But go ahead, Kaden.
Thank you for adding that, TVE. Now, like back to what I was saying though, like he showed that he was there to support his son. And although Conor Benn got upset, I don't think that Chris Eubank Sr. was trying to like embarrass him. I think he was trying to like genuinely express his concern for Conor Benn, because it seems like he felt like Conor Benn was hanging around the wrong people. But like Conor said, why are you saying this in front of everyone? Like I feel like Conor would have received it better if he would have pulled him aside and just said it like behind the scenes, like, yo, I'm just coming to you out of love and concern. But I don't think he was trying to, you know, embarrass Conor. Maybe he didn't feel like he had the type of relationship with Conor where he can pull him to the side. So he just said it when the mic was on. But nonetheless, what he said was about the importance of a father being in the son's corner. Now, my question to Chris Eubank Sr. would be, is that as long as you like what he's doing? Is it conditional? Or were you saying something that you genuinely believe? Because if it's something you genuinely believe, you should be talking to your son, Chris Eubank Jr., although you're not a fan of the fight. I think G touched on a lot of bases. I think Chris Eubank Senior probably feels like, why are you rehashing old stuff that involved me and Nigel? Let me and Nigel be me and Nigel. Let you and Chris Eubank be Junior, be who you are. Have your own paths. Like, you guys don't need to relive what we did. And as much as they want to think it's about them, it's not, because now their daddies are going to have to hear it. You know, I can see the zone's desperate behind now, trying to get a sit down between Chris Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn to have them relive their fight, and then also talk about the fight with their upcoming sons and trying to push it as a legacy thing. And I think what Chris Eubank Sr. is trying to do by saying, like, I don't think he supports the fight. So he doesn't want to do anything. And I think he wants to behave in a way to show his son that I really don't like what you did. Right. So maybe he's not going to talk to him for a week, or maybe he's not going to talk to him for a little bit, just to send a message that I'm really upset with what you did. But the guy who I saw in that video preaching the importance of the father being in the fighter's life, you know, there comes a time where they say, practice what you preach. Do you practice what you preach? And if you practice what you preach, you need to at least be talking to your son, and you at least need to be there for your son. I'm not saying you need to train him like he wants you to do. You know, that seems like a little gimmick that Chris Eubank Jr. wants to add to the fight. Like, oh, and I'm being trained by my dad. And you heard what he said. He knows the Benns well. How does he know the Benns well? He knows Nigel Benn. Exactly. Conor Benn is a different person, a different beast, a different era. Like once, like every Benn has the same tendencies, the same, like everything. It's crazy. That's why what Ned's talking about.
All them Benns are the same. All them Benns are the same.
All you Benns are the same. Has been.
Nah, but accept that.
But that's not fair to the senior. You know what I'm saying? Like, because now Junior's forcing his hand. Like, yeah, I know my father doesn't necessarily agree with this fight, but my father already made it public how he feels about dads and their sons' lives and their career, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to force my daddy's hand to be involved. Yeah, that's not fair, man. I don't know. I can't co-sign.
He got to stand on his square.
Nah, Trill. Come on, Trill. That's not fair to the father, bro. Like, the father's probably like, I don't want you doing this fight. But the scene, I mean,
that's the thing about being the parent, though. That's the thing about being the parent. We're not going to agree with everything that our children do. I'm sure that our parents didn't agree with everything that we did. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but your decision for him,
we should support our children, though. We got to be there to support them, good, bad, or regardless. You know what I'm saying? We always said this one thing. I'm glad I never had to live by this, but I always said this, man. Like, for my kid, I would have their tuition for Princeton. But if not, I'll have their bill for Princeton. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to be there for them, regardless, no matter what. That's what a parent is.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, you know how your father feels. Why force your father's hand publicly like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, if this is really about legacy, why embarrass your family name? Why embarrass the father? Like, I don't know, man. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you know your father doesn't approve of something and you do it anyways, and then use your father against them, like on some, yo, dad, yeah, I made a mistake, but yeah, who cares, yo? Just have my back on this. It's like, yo, fam, you should have never been taking this fight to begin with. And now you got the nerve to associate my name to this. Like, I care about this fight. Like, I care about this legacy fight. Like, I don't know, man. This ain't right, man. And I feel bad for Senior, man. Like, you shouldn't be doing stuff like that. Like, don't force your father into this. And then go public and be on social media, different platforms, like, yo, I asked my dad, but my dad, like, I asked him, I'm just waiting for him to say a yes or a no. He's just not responding. You know, if I don't respond, you know the answer is no, bro. Stop it, man.
And you know by saying that, people are going to start going up to Chris Eubank Sr. like, are you training your son? He said he's asked you, blah, 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 blah.
Exactly. Forcing my hand to be associated with this foolishness. If I say no, then it look like I don't love my son. If I say yes, I'm co-signing the foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, this ain't fair, man. I don't know, yo. It's not right.
Yeah, I want to say, you know, I'll tell my kids, I got tuition for Princeton.
I ain't got nothing.
If you go to prison, maybe I'll put something on your books. Those were the type of books I was hoping that you was going to give.
You know what it is.
Yeah, some of ribs hurt. My ribs.
Yo,
So much. Like, come on, man.
But on the real, right? Like, to use that analogy, though, it's not like Chris Eubank Jr. is in prison. He's just taking a fight that his dad doesn't approve of, which would be the equivalent of, I guess, taking a job that your dad didn't approve of and using your dad's name to get the job, using your dad's history with the company to get the job. What you say, Dollar Bill?
I said, or even messing with, like, when people, you know, families don't like the person, a significant other of a person that their kid is messing with.
Oh, I don't think you got to support that. I'll cut my kid off. You're cut off. Go have that person take care of you until you get rid of them, and then the bank is open again.
Yo, this segment crazy, yo.
Nah, but for real, I do think as a parent, especially as a dad involved in boxing, what Chris Eubank Sr. should do for his son is he should be there to teach him how to deal with the pressures of a big fight, to teach him how to handle the stress and how to handle all the things that come with a big fight, because this is a big fight for his son. You know, and if he owes his son anything, I feel like he owes him that, because whether he likes it or not, his son laces up a pair of boxing gloves because he saw him do it. He just wants to make his daddy proud at the end of the day. That's why he's boxing.
Make his daddy proud, though. Like, or is he just a money grab? You know what I'm saying?
It could be both, right? They're not mutually exclusive.
Yo. For this fight, it's either you really want the legacy or you just trying to get a bag.
You don't think that in his heart, he doesn't want to be able to say, like, Daddy, you beat Nigel Benn and I beat up his son.
Why couldn't he do that like 2 years later? Like, right now, it's just too early. So it's like, why now, Chris? Why not wait until Conor Benn is like an established fighter that's like no longer a prospect, where you can't just capitalize off his inexperience? So then it could be worth that. You know what I mean? It's not worth it right now. Hence, that's why he's in the press conference like it's a lose-lose. Yeah, it's a lose-lose because you're trying to capitalize off his inexperience and his size. Like, bro, you's a bully. You corny, son. That's whack. You know what I'm saying? Like, your father's probably like, I can't believe my son, man. This dude looking like a fool. He want me to be associated with foolishness. Nah, that's crazy. Ned, yo, I promise you, TBE cannot do that. Not around me. I'll be like, Ned, I'll disown you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Ned, I'm gonna tell you, watch him out right now. Yo, watch him out.
With all due respect, son, don't do that. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. It's the truth, man. I can't have my son looking crazy out here.
I can't. Oh my goodness, this is
man. That's, I don't know.
Well, I think like this, right?
Look,
go ahead, dog. But you can jump in.
I'll say, as far as the bully conversation goes, they wasn't calling Triple G a bully. They wasn't calling Canelo a bully when they fought these guys, Amir Khan and the other guys. They was like, these guys are taking a test against these guys who are bigger. And if these guys, if they win, he'll get all the escalades. If the guy ends up beating them, he just got beat by the better, bigger man. You know what I'm saying? But as far as bullying,
they're like, think about it. Like, there's no legacy behind Triple G versus Kell Brook. You know what I'm saying? There was no legacy. There was no storyline behind that. Kell Brook messed up. You know what I mean? And he paid for that. Like, his career has never been like the same since. He just had a downward trajectory after that loss. You know what I'm saying? Ben, though, I mean, not Ben, what's his name? Eubank Jr. It's like, yo, I could make some money. You know what I mean? My career ain't really popping. I could fight Boo Boo. I could fight Billy Joe. I could do whatever. But yeah, let me fight the smaller dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
he gonna get more. He gonna get more bread for fighting the smaller dude.
That's,
you know,
that's some sucker moves. This is I don't know. This is sucker behavior, and we're fronting like it's okay, and then we're like the father should just suck it up and just be there because he's the dad, and it's not fair to the father, man. Like, I don't know, man.
There's a lot of people writing Chris Eubank Jr. off though. like a lot of people say, yeah, he's the bigger guy, but I was reading some of these comments. It was like people not even giving him a chance. Like,
yeah, because he failed himself.
Bigger guy, but
And who
like,
he has to blame? Himself. You can't blame his dad for that. You can't blame Conor Benn for that. He has to blame himself. The dude is a joke, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like these antics. Yo, you literally on social media, all over YouTube and stuff, begging your dad to be involved in this foolishness. Yo, that's crazy. That's why I leave in that video with Conor Benn when Senior was talking to Conor Benn, and Conor Benn was like, yo, bro, don't be talking about my relationship with my dad in front of all of these cameras. I respect that because it's like, yo, you can pull me to the side. We can have a talk about that in private. That's family business. That's not public. Your foolishness, you bring it to the public, trying to force my hand. Yo, this dude is, oh my God, I can't believe we actually debating this foolishness. Bro, I can't believe this, yo. Like, this is crazy, yo. Like,
I don't know, man. I understand where you're coming from, but like, I mean, I understand where Trill's coming from too. I think as humans, right? Sometimes you gotta step away and you gotta collect your thoughts. And if you see Chris Eubank Sr., he seems like a really composed guy. Like, even when he was speaking and Conor got upset, he didn't like raise his voice or whatever. He just like took a moment, gathered his thoughts, and then he spoke. And then he said, like, no disrespect to you, you know? And I don't think he was trying to disrespect him. And I think he's probably really trying to gather his thoughts before he addresses his son, because I think, you know, someone said this before, and I'm trying my best to adopt this in my life. I don't know why I heard this, but I heard like calmness is a superpower. Like the ability to remain calm and the ability to gather your thoughts and be composed in situations where you're extremely frustrated is a superpower. And it got me thinking like, yo, like that's real. When I think about it, anyone can flip out, anyone can lose control. And sometimes, like, even looking at myself, like I would flip out or lose control like a lot more when I was younger. And I would realize like, yo, that wasn't the way. I got better, but I can still improve. So like, to me, I think like calmness is a superpower, like the ability to be composed. So like when I look at Chris Eubank Sr., I think he's one of those people who feels that way. And I think before he gets on the phone with his son and goes off like, what the hell are you doing? Get your own legacy. What the hell is wrong with you? You in my shadow. I think he wants to get all those feelings out before he speaks to his son. And he can just say like, I don't approve of this decision. I think there were better fights for you. I think you should have carved your own path, but you put me in this situation. I'm going to support you, but I want you to know that I don't approve of this. And I'm not training you, but I will be there to guide you and give you advice. But sometimes to get there, you need a week off. You need 2 weeks off. Because if you speak to that person in that moment, you're going to go to hell off. So what I think when I look at Chris Eubank Sr., he's someone to me who always seems like he wants to be composed in front of people. He wants to be calm. He wants to be like in control of his emotions, and maybe he's just not there yet. Now that's what I take from the situation. Anyway,
let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter, and please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.